how many people here besides my wife, but I know she's getting ready to get excited, have ever had a margherita pizza? Like it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of margherita pizzas that you will get, and I'm going to give you just a little bit of history about them before we get started, is some of them just have olive oil on the crust. They have no sauce whatsoever. You'll take and sprinkle you some olive oil around, take you a brush or a spoon and spread your olive oil around and do it that way. A lot of them will have a white sauce, such as an Alfredo or some kind of white sauce. The one we're doing today is a traditional margherita pizza. It does have a red sauce on it. We're going to use just a little bit of red sauce on it. And I've got this sitting out here for a reason. You all have seen it sitting out here, and I've not used it, and I'm not going to use it a lot. I'm going to use it on our margherita pizza just a little bit. This is grated Parmesan. When you go to a pizza joint and you want Parmesan, this is kind of like what you get there. This is a imported grated Parmesan that we sell down in our cheese case down there, and it is really good. It's got a really different flavor to it, and it's really good. Excuse me. You can, at any point, change any cheeses you want on this and change it around for a little bit of a different flavor. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our sauce now. Find my spoon. And we are going to do the same thing that we did with the first pizza we made. We are going to make us a mound in the middle. You like a lot of sauce? Like a little sauce? So we're going to put medium to satisfy everybody. How's that? And we're just going to go around and around and around. We're going to spread it out really to the edge. You want to take it over the crust. A lot of people do. Our recipe doesn't really specify how far to take it out, but we're going to take it right to the edge on this one. And you'll notice something on your recipe. I'm going to go ahead and tell you about why I'm thinking about it. Your tomatoes say on there to have them cut up. Tomatoes. I'm looking at the wrong recipe. It'd help if I get the right one in front of me. It says to use a 1/4 cup of chopped tomatoes. Well, what I'm going to use today, as you can see that's up here on our countertop, is I'm going to use sliced tomatoes. Roma tomatoes are really good to use with these. Roma tomatoes are really good meaty tomatoes. Really any kind of tomato. You can use grape tomatoes. One of the things you want to do with grape tomatoes, you do not want to put them on there whole. You do want to slice them in half. But any kind of tomatoes you like, heirloom tomatoes, a lot of the heirloom tomatoes that we have around here, like the Indian tomatoes, the black, the purple tomatoes, Mr. Stripey's. Summertime is coming. This is a wonderful pizza to do for summertime because here about July we'll start getting all of our tomatoes in, and you can use those on your pizzas. Anybody ever had a beefsteak tomato? Those are real meaty. Lots of meat, real juicy tomato. It's almost like eating an apple. You can use those on there also. So we put our sauce on there, and then we're going to add our garlic. You can use fresh garlic. I tend to like to use this garlic that we have in the little jars. This is called Christopher Ranch garlic is the brand of this. This is kind of hard to find too. You was asking about the pesto. This minced garlic and the chopped garlic and the different things that we have down there are in the produce section. If you go where the heads of garlic are and you look on the bottom shelf, that's where all of our minced and chopped garlics and stuff like this is. So I like to, when I'm doing it like this, kind of spread it out evenly, not a whole lot. A little of this goes a long way. And when you're using this, and you can see, I don't know if you all can see or not, but right in the middle there is just a pool of liquid. Can you see it? See if I can. Okay, see how that liquid's coming out of there? That's really good just in itself to put on your pizza, and because it gives you that flavor without the intensity of all the garlic. So we're going to put just a little bit over here to make sure we get it spread out evenly. All right. More or less. Is that good? Okay. All right. The next thing we're going to look at is our basil and our oregano. Our oregano that we are using is a dry oregano, of course. We've talked about this many times before. You can use fresh oregano. If you use fresh oregano, you need to use about double of the dry that you use, because the dry has a more intense flavor and you don't have to use quite as much of it. And then we're just going to spread that over our sauce. I like to put the oregano down with the garlic and the sauce because it is going to stick. And your oregano, if it's on top of your pizza, will burn. It is a dry herb. It will burn if you put it on the top. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some tomatoes. I've already got these pre-sliced. You can see the tomatoes that I used there as whole. I left some there for you to see. The reason that I like to use sliced tomatoes instead of chopped is simply because it just looks prettier. There's not really any rhyme or reason to using either one. The chopped tomatoes, they'll be finer and you'll be able to get them on your pizza to look fine too. But I just think they look prettier when they're like this. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second when we add our mozzarella. I think I judged this one pretty good. Let's see if we can get it all on there. One more slice. There we go. All right. It's obvious what fresh mozzarella is. You can get it down there in 2 or 3 different ways, and we've used it in our cooking class before. We're out of the pearls right now, but this is a fresh mozzarella that we have for sale down in their specialty cheese case. It's called Belgosi, and we also have this. It's the same brand, except this has been sliced already, and that was really convenient for me because sometimes this fresh mozzarella, you'll see it's wet, it's fresh. You can make this at home yourself. There are recipes out there that are really easy to make fresh mozzarella. You just knead it like you do bread. You get all your ingredients together and you knead it like you do bread, and you pull it out and you make a ball out of it. You squeeze it from the top to the bottom. It's real slick, and you pinch it off at the bottom and you wrap it and put it in your refrigerator, and it's ready to go. So one of the reasons I like using sliced tomatoes though is, what shape is this? It's round, isn't it? Look, just put one slice on each piece of tomato. Okay, we're going to go around, we're going to do that. Sometimes you'll have those little pieces like that and you just put them in between. How many people has ever went down and checked out our specialty cheese case? We have a lot of specialty cheeses down there. I don't believe in wasting anything, so we're just going to take a chop of that and we're going to lay some in between here. No, ma'am. But thank you for asking. All right. I think this is a pretty pizza. I think it's real pretty when it gets your basil and gets cooked and everything. Everything's coming along real well. I think both of our pizza in there are about done. Time we get done with this, we'll be able to put one out and put another one in. Now, I went ahead and I pre-washed and pulled all of our leaves off our basil. Basil is one of those things that you can't mistake it for anything else. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through here and I'm just going to add some leaves right on top of each piece of tomato and each piece of mozzarella. One of the reasons you pre-bake this crust is all you're really looking for when you cook this is for your cheese to start melting, okay? And for your tomatoes and your sauce to get a little warm. Doesn't have to be piping hot like you would think of normal pizza. Okay, I'm going to use all of 1 pack of basil.
How long would you say would you cook it?
You're going to cook this until it's done. But no, you cook it generally about 10 to 15 minutes to cook this. When you see bigger pieces of basil like this, you can simply go along the stem and just pull it apart and kind of spread it out a little bit. Now, let's pull one of our pizzas out. Let's take all of this and set it over here. And what you're looking for on your pizza, especially this veggie pizza, is just when the crust starts turning on the edge, a little brown, and also when your cheese starts turning just a little bit brown. So there's your veggie pizza. You can say ooh and ah and yes, ma'am.
Margherita pizza for the basil, which would you prefer? prefer the basil leaves or the already cut basil?
Basil leaves. The fresher the better on that.